One of the best springtime fisheries maybe in the United States is the Detroit River in April. One of the reasons that makes it so good here is this is actually kind of like a spawning highway, I'll call it. We got Lake St. Clair up in the north, which is full of walleyes. We got Lake Erie in the south, which has really got a lot of walleyes. And what happens is a lot of those fish mix through the Detroit River. Some of them spawn here, so there's quite frankly just a lot of walleyes here. Now, the traditional way to fish the Detroit River is vertical jigging. So John Hoyer and I are going to come out here and do a little bit of vertical jigging, but I think we're also going to try and go up a little bit shallower and see if we can pitch for some of these fish. Now, one of the issues that we have here in Detroit is a lot of people know this is a good fishery and there's a lot of people here, so I think we got to sneak around a little bit. We're going to try and look a little bit more less conspicuous out here. Maybe they won't see my wrap boat and stuff. So what we're going to do is do a little jigging. We're going to go a little incognito and we're going to show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite. It's the
The Detroit River is like Route 66 for walleyes. Walleyes utilize its 24 nautical miles spanning between Lake Erie in the south and Lake St. Clair in the north as an avenue for spawning.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, just vertical jigging along.
Perhaps the most familiar method for fishing this hot stretch of water is vertical jigging, but it isn't the only approach.
I think it was the superior boat controller.
I agree, my lines are perfectly vertical.
No matter the actual tactic, however, taking advantage of the differences in water clarity is playing a major role in getting the most out of what this walleye highway has to offer.
Got one.
The big one?
What are we talking here? He wasn't very big and all of a sudden he got big.
Whoa.
What are you doing there?
All right, that's a nice one.
Decent. You hit it good.
Oh yeah.
Right in the old nose. Right in the old nose. Male, huh?
You know what hangs out with those this time of year?
I do know it. We're gonna get some.
Oh yeah. The battle with any river fishing this spring is the constant changing conditions. The Detroit River is no exception. So a lot of the water clarity is actually dictated by Lake St. Clair. So it really depends on which way the wind blowing is on St. Clair, and that'll determine what the water color is on the Detroit River. The cool thing about the Detroit River is usually the American side is pretty clean just from the prevailing winds, where the Canadian side is dirtier. Over the last couple of days we've just been searching around and we're looking for the right color water. So, you know, as you're vertical jigging past a spot, usually that cleaner water is where you're going to find the fish. The nice thing is when a lot of the river's dirty and some of it's clean, you can find that all the big females are congregated on the clean side and you can really whack them.
Good one?
Better.
Get an anchor here.
She's turning into somebody.
Oh, hello. Yeah, baby.
That's a nice one.
Oh, look at that. Hello. Hello is right.
Wow. That thing's got cow eyes. Holy cow.
Huge head on it. A big old head on that thing.
Wow. That's a nice one.
Yeah, the guttiest thing is definitely a post spawner, but look at how it bit it.
Yeah.
What was that?
A shaky snake, black
yeah.
one. I trimmed it down a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
That is a long one.
Got like an indented belly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's done spawning a little bit ago, but cruise right in. Kind of a cool area here. I mean, you're right in downtown Detroit.
Industrial walleyes.
Industrial walleye. Cool. well,
See you later, friend.
another day, another dollar.
Oh yeah. Fine and dandy.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. And Motor Guide. Accuracy matters. Closed captioning for The Next Bite is provided by Power Pole, the ultimate in shallow water anchors. For whatever the reasons, as fish rarely give them to us, the returns on the vertical jigging bite have been comparatively slow in regards to numbers. Definitely solid bites when they happen, but with too big of gaps in the action in between. For professional tournament anglers Keith Cavaius and John Hoyer.
Bring her up.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah.
So nice. So nice. I tell you what, that's what makes this place fun. You never know where you're going to find them. I mean, I guess like any walleye fishing, but it's kind of a unique little spot.
Very unique.
This has Keith and John using a pretty clever alternative approach by switching to pitching.
Look at the sun. and it's such a cool deal because they're in that heavy current coming out of this water discharge. So when you get them on, it's just this huge pull that you get, and they get sideways in that current, and just you got all you can do to get it in.
Based specifically in how, with a more developed fishery like the Detroit River, the presence of heavier current seams and warm water discharges can often hold the kind of bait fish that walleyes tend to find irresistible.
So this is actually what these fish are up here shallow eating, a little shad right here. One thing you can tell right away it's a shad because they're really kind of smelly. They kind of got a gooey, oily stuff to them. But I tell you what, the walleyes love them. And right here, if I was a big walleye, I'd want to eat it right there. No, I ain't eating it. What I'm using today for pitching jigs and vertical jigging is pretty standard jigging equipment. 6-foot medium light rod. I'm using 10-pound test nanofill because it's no stretch. A lot of sensitivity, helps me feel the bottom and feel the bites. But what a lot of people don't consider is what's a good reel for this. Now the reel I like to use is first of all a fairly lightweight one. I use a size 10, or you might see them called a 1,000 size reel. Nice and small, compact, but still holds plenty of line to make a good long cast. It does have a little bit wider spool on it, and again that allows that line to come off better and make those longer casts. It's got a lot of ball bearings, so it's very smooth, and for sure it's got to have this little lever down here that's called a back reel, so when you're fighting a big fish you can actually reel backwards and not have to worry too much about that drag. But the whole key is to make this whole system lightweight, very, very sensitive, so again not only can you feel the bottom, but you can feel the lightest bite of a walleye and get a quick hook set to get that fish in the boat. Feels decent. He's up in that current though, you just don't know. I'd grab the net.
Oh yeah, she's fighting.
Oh yeah, it's a walleye. Here he comes. Just pulling him out of that fast current, you know.
Be a 10-pound walleye.
Be a 10, it's a walleye.
Oh, nice one.
Nice one.
Oh yeah.
Coming up.
Hello.
There you go.
That's a nice one.
That's probably a big old male.
What was he doing up there?
It's the same thing those birds are. Look at all the birds over there just diving down and eating.
Eating shad.
Must be shad, I would guess. And he's in there eating shad too. He looks like he could use a few more.
I would say.
A little skinny, but that's a big old long Lake Erie male there.
Trying to keep his energy up for the spawn, I think.
Yeah. Look at how he golfed that thing in.
Wow. Lights out.
That's a half-ounce jig on there to try and work in that current. And then a shaky snake, just a little piece of plastic back there. Yeah, nice fish.
Oh yeah.
And fun, just.
Real-time fishing information from all the pros in one place at walleyechatter.com.
We're always trying to keep you on the cutting edge of how to catch fish. This is Berkeley's new Power Bait Max Scent. In testing, it caught 45% more fish. It also comes in a lot of different shapes. They're real soft and flexible, so they work really good for Carolina rigging. In particular, a lot of them work really good for drop shot fishing. This is kind of the bait that the smallmouth guys have been drooling over, the little flat-nosed minnow. But I'm going to clue you in on a little secret for you walleye guys. You're going to want to try this for your vertical jigging. It's a little 4-inch minnow, a little thinner than normal, but extremely flexible. Where I like to use this bait is for vertical jigging, like in the river systems and on some of the lakes when I'm jigging deep fish. Essentially, you just string it on like you would almost any other type of minnow bait right onto your rig. Make sure it's nice and straight, but the action is tremendous. When you're vertical jigging this, it flops all over, up and down, and the walleyes can't resist it. I'm actually starting to use it more and more for casting too, because I've had such good luck. Because of the small size of the minnow and the thinness, it works good on lighter jigs like 1/8 ounce and 3/16 ounce jigs too. So if you're a walleye guy, you're going to want to try this. If you're a smallmouth guy, drool on.
On a river, current is really important. Although we don't like it, the fish really do like it, and oftentimes it'll position them, and the key is to figure out how it's positioned them. So this morning we did a lot of vertical jigging, the traditional way of fishing here on the Detroit River. Caught some fish and stuff, but all of a sudden we're motoring along shore and we see all these birds diving down and eating. Well, it turns out right behind me here is a warm water discharge from one of the factories. And so what's happening is that's not only giving it a little bit more current, but it's actually warming up the water a little. Where the rest of the river is around 47, 48 degrees. In here it's 51, 52 degrees. So a little bit warmer. And what's happening is minnows are moving up in here, and I think it's probably shad. And the birds are eating those shad, but so are the walleyes. When you're pitching a jig in current, there's a couple of different things that you need to think about on that retrieve. The first one is as you start to move the jig towards you when it's straight out from the boat towards shore, what you're really trying to do there is just kind of more like lift the jig and then let it kind of go with the current. You're not even really working it that much, is more just lifting it, getting it back in the current, letting it roll down, and try and stay close to the bottom because that's where the fish are. Another important part of the cast, or the retrieve of the cast, is what we call the swing. And that's when it gets downstream a little bit, say at about a 45-degree angle, and it really starts to swing in behind the boat. That swing is really important because many times when you're casting up on shore, maybe you're casting up to a rocky area, and as it swings out, it goes to a mud area or a softer area. There's a transition there. Or maybe it goes from shallow and does a quick little drop off there, another transition area. Or in this case, we've got fast running current inside, we've got slower on the outside, so there's a current transition that swing is moving through. And many times where the walleyes will be hanging is somewhere in that swing. So make sure when you start out the retrieve, just lifting, letting that jig kind of roll along the bottom or move along the bottom with the current, but then pay real close attention to that swing, because a lot of times it'll bring you over a transition, which is where the walleyes are sitting. Got one, John.
Hooked up?
Good fish too. Well, either that or like a rock. Oh, there. It's not a rock, John.
All right, I'm coming.
It rocketed it. I think I felt the water going in its mouth before I even felt the tick.
So you're saying the bait's gonna be gone? I'm excited right now to see this one.
I like you excited.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, he's right below the boat and just swimming hard.
Doesn't you want to come up and see us?
Here he comes.
Look at that, head shakes.
He's mad, I guess, huh? There he is.
There you go. Bring it to me. Nice. Whoa, that thing is choked. Choked.
Yeah, here's what we mean by choked.
Wow.
He has got it in his mouth about as far as you can slam a half-ounce jig in.
Shaky snakes, it's what's for lunch.
No doubt. Look at that thing. It is in there so good.
What are you players on that puppy?
There, I got it. Look
nicely. You've done that before.
Just got a shaky snake and tipped with a little bit of a shiner. Probably wouldn't even need the shiner, right? Now as aggressively as he hit.
Wow. You say feeding?
Right on that current seam. I mean, you throw it up in the heavy stuff, but then you just pull it out just a little, and as soon as it gets to that little bit lighter current, it's just boom.
Ambush predator right there. Nice.
So cool. All right, I'm gonna put them back in over here. In walleye fishing, oftentimes boat control is critical to the success for your day of fishing. And right now we've got pretty tough conditions to do our boat control in. I've got a 2-mile current an hour current out in the river. I've probably got 3-4 mile an hour current coming out of this chute. I've got gusty winds up to about 20-25 miles an hour. That makes it tough to put a boat right in one space. Now the nice thing is that I've got a big advantage, and that's this trolling motor right here. As soon as I put this thing in anchor lock, what it does is hold me right in a position. Now I might wander a little bit, you know, a gust of a wind or the currents kind of getting on the boat and turning it a little bit, but for the most part I am sitting exactly where I want to make the perfect cast, and I'm not having to do any work. I'm not playing with my key fob, not hitting my foot pedal. I'm just up here having fun making casts and catching walleyes.
This is a classic current seam.
Yeah, it's just ripping down there, and then birds are... Fish?
Yeah.
Good one?
Feels heavy.
All right. Heavy is good.
Getting heavier. A little light on that thing. Must be a heavier one. I think I got a little more. Oh, here we go.
That's a nice fish.
Oh yeah. That's a bigger one. What we got here?
Well, how big of a jig head you got?
Well, I kind of snuck a 3/4 ouncer out there. Wow.
In about 8 feet of water.
Yeah.
Did he whack it good, or
well,
obviously?
The current's so heavy there. I saw you pitching the half, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to throw a 3/4 because I'm in the back of the boat.
Oh, look at that big old ripple shad, huh? Number 4.
I had a different angle, but I'm making the same cast with a heavier jig.
Very nice. How fun is that when they just,
oh my gosh, what a classic walleye spot.
Cool, very nice.
Let's get her back.
All right.
Nice. See you, friend.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. Strike King, legacy of domination for 50 years. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Hot topics, leading information, and tackle and techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
We got this Detroit River jigging thing dialed down to 2 primary presentations. Number 1 by far, especially in the clean water, has been this black straight-tail worm. The shaky snake and the shaky worm is what we've been using. For some reason, it seems like the darker colors, the black and the dark green, have been best in this clean water. The other thing we've been doing when we find dirtier water is we've been using a ripple shad. This fire perch has been our best color, and we've been using the 4-inch one, which is a lot bigger than we're used to casting for walleyes, but the Detroit River Walleyes are a lot bigger than average walleyes, so they have no problem just inhaling this thing. As far as jig size, we've been using the 1/2 ounce jigs for when we're vertical fishing, and we've been using the 3/4 ouncers in the dingy water. And the reason for that too is that actually helps increase your presence in that dirty water, making it easier for the fish to find them.
One of the things that Keith and John referenced earlier was searching for spawning females.
Male, huh? You know what hangs out with those this time of year?
I do know it. We're gonna get some.
Oh yeah.
Upsizing the jig heads is not only increasing their bait's profile in the dirtier water, as John mentioned, it also may take advantage of the walleye's current aggressiveness, especially towards pitching, by secondarily narrowing the size class to mainly larger fish. Although it's not just the jig heads alone that can have this effect.
Shaky snake.
Keith's piggybacked minnow and artificial setup is also riding this line.
A little bit of a belly on him, don't he?
A lot of shad right here, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you can see the big bump in the side of him. He likes shad too.
Having already had success in executing both techniques, there isn't any reason not to weed out smaller fish at this point in the trip and swing for the fences.
There's one.
Good one?
I was marking it on the graph. Oh yeah, big one. Oh, really big. And she nipped it, and then she came right back and ate it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here.
All right, I gotta get the wrench.
Oh wow.
Getting the old net
Bring her up.
bit.
Ready? Ready? Wow, that thing is huge. Look at this thing. Oh man. That is a female.
Right behind the boat too.
I was sitting back there and I marked that one on the Lowrance. It's literally right under the boat.
Yeah.
And I dropped it down and she nipped it and I lifted it up, I put it back down and it just crunched it.
Well, it looks like she's a little hungry.
Yeah, I'd say. She just got done spawning.
Yeah, done spawning and just looking for something to eat.
That's a long one.
There's Satcher. What do we got here? Oh, shaky snake on
Yep.
black one.
3/4.
3/4 ounce.
Yeah, big ones like the big jigs.
I see. Look at that thing.
Look at
Big old
that.
head.
Wow,
Yeah.
that thing is long.
But you actually saw it.
Yeah, right on the grab. It was right by my jig. I saw my jig.
Very cool, like ice fishing.
Yeah, for sure.
Give her a little rest there. Make sure she goes good.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's tired.
I think she'll be just fine.
Bass, yeah.
SMB. Okay.
Kevin Van Dam.
Folks, would you look at that?
Watch the birds.
I seen the birds. I seen it.
Ding, ding, ding. One thing about fishing the Detroit River, it is peaceful, quiet, serene, beautiful. Ding, ding. But what a lot of people don't consider is, what reel should I be using? Wait, and you'll know to set the hook. She's a blowing out here. I can't hardly talk.
Jigging on the Detroit River. Let's try that again.